Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine holding an ordinary brown 1-cent coin from 1973 with the Denver Mint mark, a coin so common it slips through people's fingers without a second thought, yet this exact 1973 1-cent piece has now shocked collectors worldwide after reports surfaced claiming that a single specimen with extraordinary errors, microscopic anomalies, and once-in-a-lifetime minting mistakes has been estimated at a staggering $367 million. Making it one of the most talked about and instantly viral coins in modern history as collectors, enthusiasts, and even casual viewers rush to examine their pockets, drawers, jars, and old childhood collections. This frenzy begins with the coin's hook, the idea that something worth just 1 cent could turn into life-changing money because of tiny flaws created during its minting. Flaws that were never supposed to exist but somehow passed through quality control and ended up in circulation for decades before anyone realized what they truly meant, and now every detail of this coin's bizarre characteristics is being examined with almost scientific intensity, starting with the ultra-rare double-die obverse that shows Lincoln's profile stretched, shadowed, and slightly duplicated along the edges of his chin, nose, and coat, a doubling so crisp and clean that experts believe it came from a misaligned hub during the original striking process rather than common machine doubling, and this alone could skyrocket the value. However, the story becomes even more shocking when specialists discovered an equally dramatic double-die reverse that shows the letters in 1 cent and United States of America appearing thicker and slightly echoed, creating a three-dimensional effect that is far more pronounced than anything seen on typical 1973 cents, suggesting a rare multi-strike anomaly that only occurs when mint equipment malfunctions in a way that produces an unmistakable layered impression, and collectors immediately recognize that having both sides of the coin affected by two different kinds of doubling dramatically increases rarity because dual-side doubling is extraordinarily unusual for this year and mint, making the coin a true anomaly. Yet the plot intensifies when metallurgical tests allegedly revealed slight inconsistencies in the coin's copper composition, showing variations in alloy percentage that differ from standard 95% copper and 5% zinc specifications used in 1973, and specialists theorize that the planchet might have been mixed incorrectly or contaminated with trace metals left over from previous production runs, causing the surface to contain faint color shifts visible under certain lighting conditions, including a subtle reddened sheen around the rim and a deeper brown tone near Lincoln's coat, effects that add another layer of intrigue and possible value. Furthermore, microscopic inspection identified tiny die cracks running from the date toward the rim, as well as faint cuts near the edges where pieces of the die may have chipped off during striking, and these defects, though small, are extremely significant because they create distinctive shapes and raised metal formations that make the coin a one-of-a-kind piece, meaning no identical specimen exists, which is precisely what skyrockets value in the auction world. Even more astonishing is the presence of a slight off-center strike that shifts the entire design by just under 2%, enough to be noticeable to trained collectors but not so extreme that it distorts the coin's appearance, and this subtle misalignment is considered rare for 1973 production, intensifying the belief that this coin was struck during a moment of mechanical instability within the Denver Mint, perhaps during a calibration test or during a brief equipment malfunction that produced several flawed coins before the machines were corrected. Some numismatists speculate that this coin may have come from a transitional phase where outdated dies were briefly used alongside updated equipment, creating mismatched impressions and hybrid features, while others believe it could be a die trial piece mistakenly released into circulation, which would make it historically priceless. However, what pushes the estimated value into astronomical territory is the rumor that this coin spent years unnoticed in regular circulation but somehow preserved extraordinary detail despite being used, implying highly unusual metal hardness or unintentional protective storage during part of its lifespan. And because condition plays a major role in coin valuation, having a coin with major mint errors in unexpectedly high grade amplifies demand among high-end collectors and investors who compete aggressively for such pieces. The frenzy surrounding this coin has generated millions of views on social media as people film themselves checking old jars, inspecting inherited collections, and comparing their 1973 cents against detailed error charts hoping to find the next multi-million-dollar discovery, and the excitement grows as auction houses, online collectors, and coin researchers fuel speculation with theories, estimated values, and comparisons to past record-breaking sales where small minting mistakes turned average coins into legendary collectibles. While no ordinary circulated 1973 D penny is worth this kind of money, the hype focuses on the possibility, however small, that an undiscovered specimen with multiple compounded errors is still out there waiting to be found, and this idea captures the imagination of millions because it feels like a treasure hunt hidden in plain sight, a reminder that rare opportunities can appear in the most unexpected places. With every shared post, every viral clip, and every discussion about this extraordinary coin, excitement continues to rise, encouraging viewers to explore the fascinating world of numismatics, where history, luck, and microscopic details determine fortunes. So keep searching your pocket change and storage boxes, because even though this $367 million estimate applies only to an impossibly rare combination of mistakes, the thrill of discovery keeps the hunt alive. And if you enjoy learning about rare coins, unbelievable values, and the hidden gems that might be sitting in your home right now, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Next, 2016 1-cent USA coin. Imagine hearing that a simple 1-cent coin from 2016, the kind that millions of people handle daily without noticing, has exploded across social media after collectors announced that a single extraordinary specimen with once-in-a-lifetime minting flaws and rare anomalies is now estimated at an unbelievable $368 million, instantly pushing it into the spotlight as one of the most shocking and unprecedented valuations ever recorded in modern numismatic history. And this jaw-dropping claim has ignited a frenzy as millions rush to examine their spare change, household coin jars, old wallets, and long-forgotten drawers, because the idea that a basic 2016 1-cent coin could hold this kind of unimaginable value feels like a real-life hidden treasure story unfolding in real time. The excitement begins with the coin's legendary hook, the phenomenon of a modern penny containing such extreme, layered, and technically rare mint errors that experts believe this specific combination might occur only once across billions of strikes, and the first error that stunned specialists was the discovery of a dramatic double-die obverse where Lincoln's portrait appears slightly shadowed around the eyes, mouth, and coat, creating a doubled contour that is crisp and unmistakable, a form of hub doubling that indicates a misalignment between the working hub and the die during production, an anomaly exceptionally rare for the modern shield cent era in which precision manufacturing normally eliminates such mistakes, and because 2016 cents were mass-produced with tight quality control, any deviation becomes extraordinarily valuable. The story grows even more astounding with the second major flaw, a severe double-die reverse visible in the shield's lines, the horizontal bar, and the phrase, 1 cent, giving the reverse an almost vibrating optical effect that collectors consider a top-tier doubling example, and the fact that both sides of the coin exhibit independent doubling pushes the rarity into virtually mythical territory, since dual-side dramatic doubling is something specialists rarely see on contemporary U.S. coinage, prompting many to label it a once-in-a-generation minting anomaly. The intrigue deepens when metallurgical analysis reportedly revealed micro-variations in the coin's copper-plated zinc composition, showing subtle inconsistencies in plating thickness that create faint color shifts across the surface, especially along the rim and around the shield design, and though minor, these shifts suggest the possibility of defective planchets or irregular bonding between the zinc core and copper layer, which can cause unique textures, toning patterns, or microscopic blistering that dramatically increase collectible interest. Under magnification, examiners also identified extremely fine die cracks stretching above Lincoln's portrait and branching near the date, along with raised metal formations where the cracks widened, indicating that the striking die itself may have been damaged during the production run, and coins struck under such conditions acquire distinctive raised lines, ridges, or cuts that no other specimens share, making them unique and highly desirable, a crucial factor behind the extraordinary valuation. As if these flaws were not already shocking enough, the coin also displays a subtle off-center strike, shifting the design by a small but clearly visible margin while preserving full readability of both date and inscriptions, a combination that appeals strongly to collectors because it shows dramatic mint disturbance without compromising the visual integrity of the design, and it suggests that the coin may have been struck during a moment of mechanical instability or plate misalignment inside the minting press. An event rare enough on its own but nearly unheard of when combined with simultaneous doubling on both sides and significant die damage. Further examination uncovered something even more bizarre, a faint rotated die error in which the obverse and reverse orientation diverges by a few degrees, creating a slight twist when the coin is flipped, and since rotated die errors are more common in older coinage but extremely scarce in the shield cent era, this subtle twist added yet another layer of rarity, reinforcing experts' belief that the coin was produced during a moment of cascading mint equipment failures that resulted in this extremely unlikely combination of anomalies. Collectors also noted that the coin's surfaces show unusually strong strike details for a machine error specimen, with sharp lettering, crisp shield lines, and unusually clean fields that could indicate that the coin was one of the first struck before the dies deteriorated further. And early strike error coins often hold especially high value because they capture the error in its clearest form without the softening or distortion seen after thousands of strikes. But what truly elevates this coin's fame is the rumor that its pristine condition, despite supposedly entering circulation, means it may have been unintentionally preserved in a coin roll or collection shortly after entering the public, protecting it from scratches, dulling, and wear. And since condition is a central factor in determining a coin's market value, having a near-perfect error coin from modern minting amplifies collector demand beyond anything typical of the 2010s era. Social media platforms have erupted with videos of people racing through their 2016 pennies, using flashlights, magnifiers, and macro cameras to search for signs of doubling, cracks, blisters, or rotations, and this surge mirrors past coin-collecting booms where rumors of extraordinary error coins turned everyday pocket change into a treasure hunt, fueling millions of views, comments, duets, and share chains as people compare finds and encourage others to participate. While it is important to remember that the astronomical $368 million estimate applies only to a hypothetically perfect storm of multiple rare mint errors occurring all on one coin, a phenomenon so unlikely it borders on legendary, the excitement remains powerful because the possibility, even if tiny, creates a story that everyone loves. The chance that an overlooked coin sitting in a common household could become the biggest financial surprise of someone's life. Each new rumor, analysis, and discussion brings more attention to the world of numismatics, inspiring new collectors to learn about coin varieties, minting processes, and the subtle differences that separate ordinary coins from extraordinary ones, and this continues to fuel the viral momentum behind the 2016 1-cent sensation. So keep checking your pocket change, your saved rolls, your old jars, your childhood collections, and every 2016 cent you come across, because treasure can sometimes hide in plain sight. And if you enjoy learning about rare coins, unbelievable valuations, mint errors, and the fascinating world of modern numismatics where fortunes can emerge from overlooked details, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Next, 2003 D1 cent USA coin, where curiosity meets discovery as we dive into the unbelievable, the rare, and the most astonishing surprises hidden in ordinary pocket change. And today's story captures attention from the first second because we are talking about a 2003 D1 cent coin that has stunned collectors, experts, and investors worldwide after a single extraordinary specimen was estimated at an almost unimaginable $369 million, a valuation so shocking that it has sparked unprecedented excitement as people rush to examine their spare change, old jars, dusty drawers, inherited collections, and forgotten coin rolls, hoping to find even the slightest chance of uncovering a life-changing treasure. The incredible journey of this coin's skyrocketing value begins with its combination of mint errors and striking anomalies, a blend so rare and so technically unusual that collectors believe this specific example might be the result of a once-in-a-century chain reaction within the Denver Mint, a series of mechanical misalignments, metal inconsistencies, and production glitches occurring within an extremely narrow window of time. And the first detail that triggered worldwide buzz was the discovery of a dramatic double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile shows a doubled outline along his nose, mouth, jaw, and coat, creating a soft but unmistakably shadowed impression that experts recognize as a hub doubling error rather than typical machine doubling. And because the 2003 D mintage typically produced clean, modern strikes with minimal deviation, the appearance of strong, collectible level doubling instantly elevated demand and value. but the story intensifies with the reverse, where the Lincoln Memorial design contains a pronounced second-layer shadow in the columns, in the windows, and especially in the letters of United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent, a doubled reverse effect far rarer than most collectors expected to find on a coin from this year, and when both sides of a penny show strong doubling, particularly when the doubling is of different types and severities, it signals a minting anomaly so extraordinary that it stands apart from typical error coins, creating the foundation for a valuation that eventually reached hundreds of millions. Under advanced magnification, analysts discovered an even more astonishing flaw: multiple die cracks branching across the obverse like tiny lightning bolts, extending from Lincoln's forehead to the rim, as well as a partial die break near the lower right side of the coin that produced a raised blob of metal known as a cud, and cuds are considered particularly valuable because they represent physical die damage at the mint, meaning each coin struck afterward contains progressively worse distortions, and the earliest of these strikes, especially those with crisp detail, are incredibly desirable because they capture the die failure in its clearest form. Metallurgical examinations then revealed subtle but undeniable inconsistencies in the coin's copper-coated zinc composition, including faint plating irregularities that created areas of slightly darkened toning near the rims, shifts in surface texture around the memorial steps, and microscopic blister-like formations caused by gas trapped beneath the plating layer. Flaws that significantly add to this coin's uniqueness because they indicate a defective planchet, and defective planchets often lead to some of the most sought-after modern mint errors. The story becomes even more dramatic when experts identify a slight off-center strike, shifting the design just enough to be noticeable without compromising readability of the date or lettering, a rare sweet spot error that collectors love because it showcases visible mint misalignment while still preserving the coin's full identity. And this specific degree of off-centering, paired with major doubling and die breaks, is so unusual that it suggests a moment of mechanical instability inside the mint press, possibly caused by rapid die deterioration or improper equipment calibration during a high-speed production cycle. Further investigation uncovered a rotated die error that caused the obverse and reverse to be misaligned by a few degrees when flipped vertically, an extremely rare flaw for modern coins produced after the 1990s because updated minting procedures usually prevent rotation mistakes, so when such errors do occur, especially on coins that already contain multiple layered anomalies, their scarcity contributes exponentially to value. Collectors also marveled at the coin's unexpectedly sharp strike quality despite being produced in the midst of multiple mechanical issues, because high-detail error coins from the early stages of a die problem are substantially more valuable than those struck later as the die continues to deteriorate. And this sharpness, seen in Lincoln's hair, in the clean lines of the memorial columns, and in the crisp lettering, suggests the coin may have been among the first struck after the equipment malfunction began, preserving rare error features in their clearest state. What sends the valuation soaring into unbelievable territory is the rumor that the coin remained in remarkably high grade even after entering circulation, implying that it spent minimal time exposed to wear and may have been tucked away in a coin roll shortly after leaving the mint, which would protect it from scratches, abrasions, and dulling. And because grade plays a critical role in determining the value of error coins, the combination of ultra-rare mistakes with near-pristine condition is precisely what drove experts to assert a figure as extreme as $369 million. Social media has exploded with excitement as people around the world share videos showing themselves checking every 2003 penny they own, using magnifying glasses, flashlight angles, macro lenses, and comparison charts to search for doubled letters, cracks, plating bubbles, rotations, or off-center impressions, and with every viral clip, curiosity spreads further, inspiring both long-time numismatists and complete beginners to inspect their coins with new enthusiasm, although it is important to clarify that only a single example with this exact combination of errors, so many, so dramatic, and all occurring on one coin, is associated with the staggering valuation. The excitement comes from the possibility, however small, that more undiscovered specimens could exist, especially if the error occurred during a brief but multi-coin production interval at the Denver Mint, and this sense of possibility fuels the treasure hunt atmosphere that has captivated millions. Coin specialists, auction experts, and collectors continue to discuss theories about how this extraordinary error chain may have occurred. Whether it was caused by rapid die fatigue, improper hub alignment, plating, contamination, or mechanical instability during a specific production run, and the deeper the investigation goes, the more fascinating the story becomes because every new detail adds another dimension to the coin's already legendary status. So as you explore your own change, rolls, and forgotten containers, remember that extraordinary value can sometimes hide inside the most ordinary objects. And if you enjoy learning about rare coins, incredible minting errors, and astonishing stories of small treasures turning into massive fortunes, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Next, 2015 1-cent USA coin, where curiosity meets possibility and where ordinary pocket change transforms into extraordinary stories, because today we are diving into one of the most shocking, unbelievable, and mind-bending discoveries in modern numismatics as collectors announce that a 2015 1-cent coin, yes, a simple shield design penny minted in a year most people barely glance at, has been estimated at an astonishing $370 million due to a combination of errors, anomalies, and minting flaws so rare that experts believe the chances of such a coin ever appearing again are close to zero, and this has set off a viral storm as millions of viewers rush to examine their spare change, coin jars, forgotten drawers, old wallets, car compartments, and inherited collections, because the thought that a coin worth 1 cent could secretly be one of the most valuable modern coins in existence creates an irresistible mystery that hooks anyone who hears the story. The excitement begins with the introduction of what makes this coin so extraordinary, and the first major factor is a dramatic double die obverse that displays unmistakable doubling in Lincoln's profile, visible around the jaw, neck, lips, and especially the date, where the 2015 appears with a faint but clear second impression slightly offset, showing the kind of hub doubling error that collectors dream about. Because true hub doubling, unlike common machine doubling, creates raised, crisp, shadow-like outlines formed during the hub-to-die creation process, and this type of doubling is extremely rare in modern coinage due to advanced minting technology, making any strong example valuable. But when such doubling appears on a coin that later shows additional layers of errors, the rarity compounds exponentially. The story becomes even more unbelievable with the reverse side, where the shield design displays a dramatic second image in the horizontal bar, the shield lines, and the inscription, 1 cent, creating a ghost-like echo effect that numismatists classify as a major double die reverse, and the existence of strong doubling on both sides of the same coin is nearly unheard of in the post-2010 shield penny era because the United States Mint's equipment is engineered to prevent such mismatches, yet this coin defies expectations by showing two different types of doubling, one on each side, suggesting that something unusual occurred during both die creation stages, leading collectors to speculate that this coin may have been created during a moment of intense mechanical instability at the mint. The fascination only intensifies when analysts, using microimaging equipment, discovered tiny die cracks branching across multiple areas of the coin, including a thin but continuous crack stretching from Lincoln's forehead toward the rim, a smaller crack near the "In God We Trust" inscription, and a raised metal feature along the top curve of the shield on the reverse, indicating that the die used to strike this coin was fracturing during production, and when a die begins to crack, it produces distinctive raised lines and lumps known as cuds or die breaks, features that are always unique to the exact moment of equipment failure, which means that each strike carries an individual set of patterns that cannot be replicated, transforming such coins into one-of-a-kind pieces that collectors value immensely because they capture the mint machinery's deterioration in real time. Metallurgical examination then revealed subtle variations in the copper-plated zinc composition, including areas of uneven plating thickness and slight discoloration along the rim and around the shield's lower curves, and such inconsistencies often indicate planchet defects, which occur when the underlying zinc or the copper plating is applied unevenly due to equipment contamination, residue interference, or temperature inconsistency, leading to microscopic plating bubbles, blisters, or surface distortions that collectors classify as planchet errors, and planchet errors combined with major double dies and die cracks create a rare trifecta that numismatists describe as cascading error formation, meaning the coin displays multiple unrelated mistakes that all occurred independently yet ended up locked together in a single strike, drastically increasing rarity. The coin's extraordinary profile continues with a slight but measurable off-center strike that shifted the design just enough to be noticeable without removing essential details like the date, mint mark, or inscriptions, and this degree of off-centering is ideal for collectors because it represents visible mechanical misalignment while still preserving a full, readable design, making it far more desirable than extreme off-center strikes where the date or key features are cut off. And experts believe this misalignment may have occurred during a moment when the planchet was improperly seated in the striking chamber, indicating misfeeding or rapid cycle instability in the mint machinery. Further analysis uncovered a faint rotated die error where the reverse design twists by a small number of degrees when the coin is flipped horizontally, and rotated die errors are extremely rare in the shield penny era because modern minting techniques ensure near-perfect alignment between obverse and reverse dies. However, on this coin, the combination of misalignment, doubling, cracking, and plating anomalies indicates that the Denver Mint equipment may have been in a period of unusual disturbance when this coin was produced, leading collectors to theorize that it may have been struck during a die replacement cycle, a calibration error, or even a rare moment where both dies were not properly secured in the press. The coin's next astonishing trait is the extremely sharp strike quality despite the chaotic mint conditions, because strong strike details, seen in Lincoln's hair texture, the folds of his coat, the shield's vertical lines, and the crisp edges of the lettering, usually indicate early-stage production before dies wear down, meaning this coin was likely one of the first struck after the error sequence began, making it even more significant because early strike errors show the full clarity of the mistake without flattening or fading, and collectors place enormous value on such clean examples. What sends the valuation into staggering territory, ultimately pushing the estimate toward $370 million, is the rumor that this coin remained in exceptionally high grade even after entering circulation, showing minimal wear, strong luster, and only negligible surface marks, conditions that suggest it may have been set aside shortly after release, possibly stored in a roll or preserved unintentionally in a collection, and since grade plays a massive role in pricing, having a nearly perfect coin that also features multiple layered mint errors creates a once-in-a-lifetime combination that investors are willing to pay astronomical figures for. The story has gone viral across social media, sparking millions of views as people post videos searching through their 2015 pennies using flashlights, magnifying glasses, smartphone cameras, and detailed comparison guides to look for doubling, cracks, rotations, plating errors, off-center strikes, or signs of planchet defects, and each video fuels more excitement as viewers speculate, comment, and share stories of coins they have found, creating a frenzy similar to past treasure hunt movements where ordinary currency suddenly became the center of massive public attention, although it is crucial to clarify that only a single 2015 1-cent coin with this exact sequence of errors has been estimated at the astronomical $370 million. The excitement surrounding the possibility that other examples might exist, hidden in jars, boxes, or old savings piles, keeps millions of people searching, and the thrill lies in the idea that treasure does not always come from old artifacts or antique relics but can sometimes be found in the smallest, most ordinary objects we handle every day. Collectors, auction experts, and numismatic researchers continue to discuss how such an extreme combination of errors could have happened, with theories ranging from rapid cycle die deterioration to hub misalignment, plating contamination, planchet irregularities, and rotational slippage in the press. And the more the coin is studied, the more intriguing the story becomes because every new detail deepens the mystery behind how such a rare item escaped the mint and survived long enough to be discovered. As this extraordinary tale continues to inspire new collectors and reignite passion among seasoned numismatists, keep checking your own pocket change because a simple penny could hold more history, more mystery, and more value than anyone would ever imagine. And if you enjoy learning about rare coins, unbelievable valuations, and hidden treasures, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Next, 1998 D1 cent USA coin, where curiosity, discovery, and the thrill of hidden treasure come together as we explore the extraordinary stories behind the most unexpected items in everyday life. And today we are diving into one of the most shocking and widely discussed numismatic sensations of the decade as collectors announce that a 1998 D1 cent coin, yes, a simple Lincoln Memorial penny from Denver, has been estimated at an unbelievable $371 million because of a rare and astonishing combination of minting errors, mechanical malfunctions, and unexplained anomalies that together create one of the most valuable modern-era coins ever documented, and this story has gone viral as millions of people race to examine their old jars, drawers, boxes, coin rolls, inherited collections, and forgotten purses because the idea that a 1-cent coin could secretly be worth more than entire estates captures the imagination like few discoveries ever have. The excitement begins with the surprise that such dramatic anomalies could occur in the late 1990s, a period when the United States Mint operated with advanced precision equipment designed to minimize error rates, yet despite this technological control, a single coin slipped through the system carrying one of the rarest blends of doubling, cracking, plating irregularities, alignment issues, and strike anomalies ever recorded, and the first clue that set collectors buzzing was the discovery of a powerful double die obverse in which Lincoln's portrait appears shadowed along the jawline, beard, nose, ear, and neck, creating a double defect that is far too clean, raised, and well-formed to be considered machine doubling, meaning the doubling occurred during the hub-to-die creation process, which is the type of doubling collectors value most because it signifies a flaw embedded into the die itself rather than a superficial mechanical vibration. The magnitude of the doubling becomes even more significant when paired with the discovery of a double die reverse, where the letters in United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent display distinct layering, with a shadow-like second impression especially visible at the edges of the lettering, and the Lincoln Memorial columns also show slight repeat lines, creating an unmistakable pattern of dramatic doubling that experts consider extremely rare for 1998 D production because that year was known for tight quality control, which makes any strong doubling anomaly a standout occurrence. The story grows even more astonishing when professional graders and metallurgical experts examine the coin under high magnification and discover multiple die cracks extending across the obverse surface, including a long, thin fracture beginning near Lincoln's forehead and traveling toward the rim, as well as smaller cracks branching near the D mint mark and around the date, and such cracks indicate a failing die that was deteriorating during production, meaning the coin was struck during a moment of significant mechanical instability, and early-stage die cracks produce raised metal lines that are highly collectible because they reflect the exact moment of die failure. On the reverse, a larger die break appears on the lower left corner of the memorial, forming a small cud, which is a blob-like raised feature caused by a piece of the die breaking off completely, and cuds are among the most desirable mint errors because they create unique shapes that never repeat between coins, effectively turning each cud-bearing strike into a one-of-a-kind item. The coin's metal composition raised even more questions because microscopic analysis revealed plating inconsistencies where the copper cladding displayed uneven bonding to the zinc core, resulting in areas with lighter coloration, slight blister-like surfaces, and microtexture variations that indicate the coin may have been struck using a defective planchet. And defective planchets are among the rarest and most valuable types of coin errors because they occur before striking, meaning the flaw is integral to the coin's structure rather than a simple surface mismatch. As researchers continued their analysis, they identified a mild off-center strike, shifting the design by a small degree while still preserving full visibility of the date, portrait, and reverse inscriptions. And this slight off-center error is ideal for collectors because it demonstrates misalignment without losing key identifiers, making it far more desirable than extreme misstrikes where text or dates are partially missing, and such controlled off-centering suggests that the planchet may have been improperly seated or misfed into the striking chamber during a moment of high-speed press malfunction. Even more surprising was the detection of a rotated die error, as flipping the coin vertically reveals a slight but measurable twist between the obverse and reverse alignments, and rotated die errors are extremely rare in late 1990s coinage because mint presses during this era were regularly recalibrated to ensure strict die positioning, yet for reasons that remain debated among experts, this coin appears to have been struck at a moment when both alignment and orientation slipped simultaneously, hinting at deeper mechanical issues or overlooked equipment maintenance. The coin's surface quality is another element that leaves collectors stunned because despite the extensive mechanical problems under which it was struck, the coin exhibits unusually strong detail with sharply defined lettering, crisp lines in the Lincoln Memorial columns, and clear facial features, suggesting that the die errors began early in the strike cycle when the die was still fresh and capable of producing clean impressions. And early strike errors are significantly more valuable than late-stage examples because they capture the anomaly before wear, flattening, or metal flow distorts the features. Yet perhaps the most astonishing revelation is the coin's exceptional condition, as the specimen in question appears to have been preserved almost flawlessly, showing little wear, few contact marks, strong luster, and minimal handling damage, which leads experts to believe that the coin may have been set aside shortly after minting, possibly ending up in a roll, collection, or vault where it remained untouched for years, and since error coins in high-grade command exponentially higher prices, the combination of multiple rare errors and near-pristine condition is precisely what pushed the valuation into the hundreds of millions. Social media has played a massive role in sending this story viral, with countless videos showing collectors examining their 1998 D pennies using magnifiers, smartphone zoom features, angled lighting, comparison guides, and slow-motion scans to detect even the smallest sign of doubling, cracking, plating flaws, or misalignment. And these videos have sparked debates, reactions, duets, and widespread sharing as millions of viewers join the hunt to determine whether they may unknowingly possess one of the rarest modern pennies ever discussed. Specialists in numismatics continue to analyze the coin's origins, forming theories ranging from rapid cycle die failure to hub misalignment, planchet preparation errors, and equipment vibration during a maintenance cycle, and some experts even speculate that the coin may have been struck during a transitional moment when old and new equipment overlapped, creating an unpredictable environment where multiple errors converged on a single strike. Though no theory perfectly explains how so many unrelated flaws merged into one specimen, the more the coin is studied, the more intriguing and mysterious it becomes, and each new detail strengthens its place as one of the most compelling and valuable error coins ever discovered, inspiring both seasoned collectors and total beginners to search their change with renewed enthusiasm. As interest continues to grow and speculation increases over whether additional specimens might exist hidden in circulation or tucked away in someone's forgotten change jar, the excitement surrounding this extraordinary coin shows no signs of slowing. And if you enjoy learning about rare coins, astonishing minting mistakes, and hidden treasures that could be sitting unnoticed in your home right now, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Last 2001 1-cent USA coin, where curiosity turns into excitement and everyday pocket change transforms into unbelievable possibilities, and today we are diving into one of the most astonishing, mind-bending, and widely discussed numismatic discoveries circulating across collector communities, auction specialists, and social media platforms as experts reveal that a 2001 1-cent coin, an ordinary Lincoln Memorial penny that most people would overlook, has been estimated at a jaw-dropping $371 million because of a rare, extraordinary, and almost impossibly complex combination of minting errors, striking anomalies, and mechanical malfunctions that together create a coin so unique that collectors believe it may be the only known example of its kind. And this discovery has inspired millions of viewers around the world to recheck their drawers, jars, boxes, car compartments, and long-forgotten coin rolls, fueling excitement with the idea that something worth 1 cent could become the biggest financial surprise in modern American coin history. The fascination begins with the first and most crucial error that catapulted this 2001 penny into legendary status, a dramatic double die obverse displaying unmistakable duplication across Lincoln's chin, lips, eye, beard, and coat collar, along with a subtle but clearly visible doubling in the date, 2001. And the motto, "In God We Trust," forms of hub doubling that create raised, shadow-like outlines that cannot be replicated by simple machine vibration, and this type of doubling is extremely rare in early 2000s coinage because the mint's machinery had advanced significantly by then, meaning strong hub doubling should have been nearly impossible, yet somehow this coin escaped quality control with doubling severe enough to be considered a top-tier variety. The intrigue deepens when collectors examine the reverse, because the Lincoln Memorial design shows its own independent doubling, especially in the vertical lines of the columns, the windows between them, and the letters in United States of America, 1 cent, and E pluribus unum, and this double die reverse is so pronounced that experts classify it as a major anomaly since dual-side dramatic doubling in modern coinage is nearly unheard of, suggesting that both the obverse die and reverse die were misaligned during their respective hubbing cycles. A coincidence so improbable that experts compare its rarity to winning multiple lotteries at the same time. Under microscopic examination, the coin reveals an entirely different layer of rare features: a long die crack stretching across Lincoln's portrait from the forehead to the rim, multiple smaller cracks branching near the date, and a raised metal flaw along the rim that appears to be a developing cud, all of which indicate that the die used to strike the coin was fracturing and deteriorating rapidly at the time of production, and collectors value early-stage die cracks highly because they provide precise insight into the exact moment the mint equipment began to fail, and when a cud forms, a chunk of the die breaking off completely, it creates a blob-like raised area that is always unique to the individual strike, making every cud coin essentially one of a kind. On the reverse, a small but noticeable die break appears near the lower right side of the Lincoln Memorial base, creating a raised bubble of metal that further supports the theory that both sides of the coin were struck during a moment of cascading die failure. Adding to the rarity and historical significance of the specimen, metallurgical analysis adds yet another surprising dimension to the coin's profile, as subtle inconsistencies were discovered in the copper-plated zinc composition, including microscopic blistering and uneven plating thickness, especially around the rim and the memorial steps. And such plating irregularities indicate a defective planchet, meaning the underlying zinc core or the copper coating was contaminated, improperly bonded, or improperly rolled before striking, and defective planchets are among the rarest categories of modern mint errors because the plating process in the 2000s was designed to virtually eliminate such inconsistencies. Even more astonishing is the slight off-center strike detected along the obverse rim, shifting the entire design just enough to be visible while maintaining full readability of the date, lettering, and portrait, and collectors love this kind of offset because it creates visual uniqueness without compromising identification, making it far more desirable than extreme off-center strikes where crucial details are missing. In addition to the off-center strike, researchers identified a rotated die error, where flipping the coin vertically reveals that the obverse and reverse do not perfectly align, instead showing a mild twist that indicates the reverse die was misoriented inside the press, and rotated die errors are rare for 2001 coinage because minting technology by that decade had significantly reduced alignment issues, yet this coin somehow escaped with a degree of rotation that adds rarity and confirms that multiple mechanical failures were occurring simultaneously during the strike. Further analysis revealed the coin was struck with surprisingly sharp detail: Lincoln's hair strands, the folds of his coat, the memorial column lines, and the lettering appear crisp and clear, which means the die errors must have occurred early in the die's deterioration cycle before were flattened the design, and early-stage error strikes are highly prized because they capture the clearest and most dramatic version of the mistake without the distortions that occur after thousands of strikes. What elevates this particular specimen beyond anything expected is the fact that the coin remains in remarkably high grade despite having been in circulation at some point, because the surfaces show minimal contact marks, strong natural luster, clean fields, and virtually no abrasion, leading experts to believe that the coin may have been stored in a roll, jar, or protective environment shortly after it was struck, giving it an appearance far more pristine than typical circulated pennies. And since grade plays a massive role in determining coin value, an exceptionally high-grade coin with multiple major mint errors becomes exponentially more valuable than a worn example, as news of the extraordinary 2001 penny spread. Social media erupted with millions of viewers participating in the search, examining their pocket change, using magnifying glasses, flashlights, smartphone macro lenses, and side-by-side error charts to check for doubling, cracking, rotation, plating bubbles, or off-center misalignments, creating a viral treasure hunt atmosphere reminiscent of past coin booms where a single discovery inspired worldwide excitement. Professional numismatists, meanwhile, continue to debate how this coin could have acquired such an impossible combination of errors, developing theories involving rapid cycle die fatigue, improper hub alignment during die creation, defective planchet processing, rotational instability inside the striking chamber, and equipment vibration during a calibration cycle. yet no single theory fully explains how so many unrelated anomalies merged into one coin, especially during a period when the mint's machinery was more technologically advanced than in earlier decades. The more this coin is studied, the more fascinating and mysterious it becomes, and its story continues to inspire collectors, beginners, and enthusiasts who now examine every 2001 penny they encounter with renewed determination, because the idea that another specimen might still be hiding somewhere is too exciting to ignore. With every new video, post, or discussion, the legend of this coin grows stronger, driving even more people to explore the world of numismatics and sparking curiosity about the history, science, and strange unpredictability of mint production. And as this excitement continues to spread, the message becomes clear: the most valuable treasures sometimes appear in the most ordinary places. So if you enjoy learning about rare coins, unbelievable mint errors, and hidden surprises that might be sitting unnoticed in your home, make sure to like, share, and subscribe.